Big Ray's Wrestling Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the reporter, the people, the man with the plan, Big Ray, here to stay to talk some WrestleMania 34 today here at One Wrestling Video via OneWrestling.com. And it is my absolute pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you a new member here at OneWrestling.com. We're going to figure things out. We're going to figure out basically, with the whole pay scale and everything like that. But, he can't really hear me. He's on mute right now. But I'm the only one that's making the money here. It's right, Carl? Am I right, buddy? What happened? You didn't get your check? Don't worry about that. Anyway, just click the little button there. Let Rick get on. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you a new member here, OneWrestling.com, Mr. Ric Vickery. He is also one of our correspondents over at Hami Media. What is going on, Rick?
I'm in some circles I'm better known as the RBV, but yes, my name is Ric Vickery. Very honored to be on with you here. Especially this time of year, what an occasion! The biggest event, the event of events, is in the books. You and I we were watching it pretty much together. WrestleMania, man. That's what we're here to talk about, right? Yeah, I'm actually doing a little overtime here in the offices of OneWrestling.com. I got Carl, the cameraman. He's over there. I know you're doing a whole Skype gimmick here. We're doing like a kind of a dual feed thing, guys, out there. I was gonna go live, but there's so much going on here, so I just wanted to do a pre-recorded review of this, and I was lucky enough to bring Ric Vickery on. I got to tell you something, Rick, right off the bat. Let's jump right into this right off the bat. I'm gonna propose something to you. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'll tell you it, bud.
Am I crazy enough to say that this WrestleMania, from top to bottom, match per match, is possibly one of the top 10 WrestleManias of all time?
Yeah, I think it's really gonna, it's gonna stand the test of time. This was kind of dubbed, by some of, our cohorts over in the Hami Media group. It was a hashtag Paper Mania. Maybe the build wasn't so much there that we've seen in the past, but when you just went down this match card, I mean, it's a who's who, in professional wrestling, and some of the greatest talents lined up against one another. I mean, it looked. Let's just say the expectations going in for from bell to bell were extremely high.
The expectations were high, and I got to tell you something, Rick. I was more than pleasantly surprised with a hell of a lot of what I saw here on tonight's show, and we're gonna kick this right off with the 5th annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and it was a mishmash of wrestlers. No surprises, really. No surprise. We didn't get Big Cass. We didn't get Mark Henry. We didn't get the Big Show. Were you surprised not to see any of those names?
Well, maybe not so much of maybe the returning names, those that are already established. I was really looking forward to maybe seeing some of the NXT talent. My dark horse pick coming into this match was Killian Dane, so immediately I was very disappointed not to see him actually even entered into the match. Honestly, to be honest, when that match got going, I'm a sucker for battle royals. They can't really do any wrong in my eyes. But I was a little disappointed by the field. But I know we're going to get to it here in a second. I mean, the payoff here was great.
The payoff was great, and we'll might as well get there. We had Baron Corbin and Mojo Rawley in the ring alone with my pick, Woken, yes, wonderful Woken Matt Hardy, and they were both basically beating the living crap out of the guy. He had no chance. They were just going to take him and toss him out of the ring, and then you see the whole Bray Wyatt gimmick, and he comes out into the ring. So first and foremost, that was pretty cool, Rick. I just want to hear your thoughts what did you think when Bray Wyatt first jumped into the ring?
Oh, I thought, this has kind of been rumored, and so many people have been talking about these two possibly teaming up. And it's one of those things that, the possibility you get excited about, but you really don't kind of pop or perk up for it until it actually happens. I thought it was a great moment, and And I saw some people who were a little disappointed. Maybe this wasn't any more of a featured spot. But, to me, this works because this gave some importance to the actual pre-show that we usually don't see.
Speaking to Ben over at the Hami Media Discussion Group, and during my my reviews or my predictions here on OneWrestling.com, you can actually go back, guys, and take a look at all the videos I shot throughout the week. But I actually did mention that I thought this might happen, and I mentioned that I thought Broken Matt or Woken Matt would win. I didn't think Bray Wyatt would. I said Bray Wyatt would have something to do with the finish. I thought maybe he would interfere. I didn't think they would turn Bray Wyatt and right away. I thought when he come back, maybe he'd look different. Maybe he'd have a white streak on the opposite side of his head, or maybe all white and maybe a black streak, something different. Rick, your thoughts?
Well, I like the gear that he had on. I think he's worn that before, but it was more of that butcher's apron.
Yeah.
I thought that looked sharp there. I think the only thing that maybe could have changed the highlight here, I was kind of pushing. I would have liked to have seen Hardy, use some of those magical powers and transport this entire battle royal to the compound. I think that would have been cool. But overall, I was happy with it.
The thing is, they want to keep it confined here, within the venue. So I understand where you're coming from. Sounds really cool, but it is what it is. I do say it is what it is, but at the same time, it popped me. I was super excited to see Broken Bray. Is this what he's going to be? Broken Bray Wyatt moving forward? Is this where they're going with this? When Bray Wyatt appeared in the ring, I got to be honest with you, dude, I was kind of like, are they going to start fighting? Like, there was kind of like, even the crowd, it's like 70,000, almost 80,000 people. There was like a little bit of a hush before these two guys kind of shook hands and embraced, and I was like, holy crap, these guys are a team. These guys are together. But what happens to Brother Nero?
Well, I'd say now we would like to believe they are a team, but we're talking about two bizarre individuals. So it could have been something completely different. That embrace could have been something so different to them than it is to us. So I think that's one of the more intriguing parts about this is, we've got that next chapter. Where are they going, and how do all the pieces of the puzzle fit together?
Well, that's the thing. Now, is it possible that maybe they go with, maybe they have Brother Nero kind of jealous over the fact that there maybe like a jealousy angle they move into with Brother Nero? Like I don't know. I mean, if you follow the old TNA stuff, Broken Matt Hardy got upset at his brother, or basically became broken because they were supposed to be going for the tag team titles, and then what happened was Brother Nero or Jeff Hardy got into a bike accident. He was selfish, so on and so forth. So it broke Matt Hardy, and then basically the same thing kind of just happened here with the whole drunken driving thing and under the influence gimmick. So, I mean, they can kind of. What do you think? What do you think they would do with that?
I'm wondering, did you happen to see, this doesn't really give anything away later in the show, but they did run that package for upcoming features on the network, and there was a brief clip in there of Jeff talking about one of those incidents. Now, I don't know if that was the most recent or if it was something further back in his past, because he has had other issues. So I wonder how much they're really going to tap into that and bring that into the storyline. That's going to be interesting to see. But I kind of like to, instead of repeating history, let's keep them all together. Let's have a strong 3-person faction. And hey, we go back to that rumor that we heard that on some of these lesser pay-per-views they're going to start going with some more stable wars, multi-man matches. So maybe that's the direction they go in.
Sure. I'm excited to see which way it goes. Let's move along, and we're going to have to spend a little less time on each match because there's 15 freaking matches here. And this is a match that I thought would go over well with the crowd, and I thought it did. I thought it was a pretty damn good match. We have Mr. Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship. This definitely could have been on the main card. But this match ends with Cedric Alexander winning the match via lumbar check. I thought this match was crisp. It was good. Again, the crowd was popping for it. What did you think of the win? Now, here's the deal. There's some people that weren't so happy that these guys hugged or shook hands and showed respect to each other after the match. Let me get your genuine thoughts on this.
See, I thought that was kind of expected. You know, these two are kind of, you know, they've been kind of dubbed the heart and the soul of the rebirth of 205, and we saw, you know, not to, you know, lift something from Ring of Honor, but we kind of saw the code of honor beforehand, where they made the gesture, hey, let's do this. Let's give each other our best. Let's entertain, and may the best man walk away with the championship.
Yeah. And
I think that's what we got here. And I want to compliment both of them for, you know, for you're in this spot, you're on the pre-show, and people are still filing in, but they most certainly brought all the energy that one possibly could to a match at WrestleMania.
They did, and the thing is that, you know, there was a lot of handshaking and hugging and lovey-dovey stuff going on tonight, and it set up something for the end of the night, which we're going to get into for the people that didn't watch here on the WWE Network Live, who are tuning into this review to see basically what happened. But yeah, I thought it was an excellent match, really well done. Cedric Alexander has the look, does he have the charisma? I don't know, but Drake Maverick did present him with that title. Dude, they have to get rid of that purple strap. They got to go out with a black strap or something else, dude. Do you agree, or?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And that whole color scheme, and then also even their logo. I don't know. I guess it's because they're supposed to be so agile on that, but the ninja that they have, we need something more classic and professional looking.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I agree with you 1,000%. All right, let's jump. And we're still on the kickoff show, by the way. Kickoff show was like 2 freaking hours long. We have the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal for the golden uterus title, or the phallic shaped trophy, I guess you would call it.
Well, hey, come on, man. When we're talking about these, you have to put over, it's the historic first. Those are the buzzwords that they want us to use.
That was the ugliest looking trophy I've ever seen in my life.
I know.
I gotta be honest.
You almost wonder if someone got that by, you know, management's approval as a rib. All right, are they actually going to let us slide this thing by, and then they'll look like, oh my god, they actually made this thing?
Dude, that thing looks just like a freaking uterus. I'm not even kidding you. Like, if you look at the uterus, like I'm talking in a medical term. Go Google what a uterus looks like, and that's what the top of the trophy looked like. It was terrible. Anyway.
Well, I was going to say, this is professional conversation, you know?
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Look, dude. Good Battle Royal. Bugged me out when the Battle Royal started. And I see all these freaking chicks I've never seen before in my life, and I realized that a bunch of them were from NXT. And then they had the one gimmick, the one young lady, the very good-looking African-American girl with a freaking super long ponytail coming out the back of her head. How do you not trip over that thing?
Bianca Belair, she is, I don't know if you're all that, well, obviously you're not that familiar with her, incredible talent. Someone who is constantly turning my head down in NXT, just waiting for her to have that breakout moment. I think she's in that next wave of women as NXT stars. Great to see her shine. She's got that hell of that whip with that thing too.
Yeah,
it's quite impressive move. Other than that, though, it was kind of irritating that Cole. It didn't seem like he was really up to speed. He was confusing who was who. He was really stalling to get their names out. It didn't come off as professional. But you know, that's no knock on the talent, because I thought they did their best in the ring, and I think we had 2 good payoff moments at the end.
Well, not for nothing. You know, the first Battle Royal got some business done. And the Cruiserweight title, obviously, they got business done. And then this Battle Royal, they got business done because what they did was they furthered, and if you guys don't know, you had Bayley in with Sasha Banks, and Bayley eliminates Sasha Banks, but what she didn't realize was that Naomi wasn't eliminated. She hits now the rear view, that you know, the whole booty bump gimmick that she does for the finisher, you know, she hit that pretty damn hard, and she was able to toss Bayley over the top rope. But again, this gave this young lady, who I think Naomi is one of the best in-ring performers, and she's got it all. Looks, in-ring style, she cuts a decent promo, and she can go. Now you have Bayley and you have Sasha, who have been in this kind of feud, or this, you know, this lovers quarrel, I guess you would say. And now it's going to go to another level. Bayley has a little more of an edge. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but what did you think of this finish? What did you think of Naomi getting the shine, and Bayley and Sasha Banks and the business being done there? I thought the kickoff show did a great job at setting up business moving forward. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I was going to say, you know, I completely agree with everything you said about Naomi. This was a perfect spot to kind of re-energize you know, her push. She kind of fallen off there a little bit. She kind of got lost in that shuffle, which is really easy to do when we're on the road to WrestleMania because they have so much going on. But this was a great way to reignite that fire under her. I like the end there. And like you said, she is a tremendous talent. On the other end, though, they get quite a bit of heat on them from a lot of fans, but a lot of them love them. And you know me, we regularly talk, over in the Hobby group, all of our listeners over there. But for the One Wrestling listeners over here, I'm kind of hard on Sasha Banks. I'm not really a fan of hers. I think she works too much. I think she approaches the business too much as a fan as opposed to a professional. But I do like Bayley, and I do like this program between them. I love the slow burn. They're not over pushing anything. They're just letting it play out. It's a good third or fourth option in the women's division for a storyline. But I don't. And I do realize what you're saying there with Bayley. She's been much more aggressive. She's kind of evolving her character. But I'm just not sure if I like it. You know me, my background's in marketing, and I just see that there's still so much money on the table with our huggable, lovable Bayley.
Yeah, I just think that they booked her wrong. I mean, this girl Bayley, in my humble opinion, is one of the best talents. The girl, she puts forth a great amount of emotion. She emotes emotion, if that makes any sense. The girl, when she's upset, you could tell she's pissed. When she's sad, you feel almost like you want to hold her and let her know everything's gonna be okay. But yeah, man, to be honest with you, they did leave a hell of a lot of money on the table. I mean, when she first came up, I thought she was gonna be the female John Cena. I mean,
well, I think that's what we all had her tagged as, and I don't, they just didn't know what to do with her, and I think it was maybe there were some injuries at the time where she was kind of forced into a position maybe she wasn't ready or they weren't ready for, and she'd never been able to recover, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, man, but you know what? The wonderful thing about professional wrestling is, gimmicks can always change. Personas can always move on to a different level or move on to a different status, I guess, or you can always be something else. You don't have to stay with that original character. I said before, Bayley can be Bayley, but a bad girl Bayley. She could be a heel Bayley. She could be kind of an annoying, bad,
like Sandy at the end of Grease.
Yes.
Okay. I was hoping that you didn't totally go by on that one.
I got chills that multiplying. Anyway, I'm not gonna be singing here much. No, dude. I thought this did great business, but let us jump into the main card, and what a way to kick the show off with the Intercontinental Championship match. And I was absolutely unequivocally disgusted by the finish here. I was so angry. The Miz, the best thing in the WWE, in my humble opinion. Finn Balor came out. Now, I must have missed this. Now, apparently, Finn Balor was represented by a bunch of LGBTQ, I guess, representatives in rainbow shirts or something like that. Somebody was telling me.
Yeah. Rollins came out, got the crowd hot. People love him, man. He's still better as a heel, but people do want to cheer him. He had a kind of a cool little twist on his entrance. Place is popping.
Yuck.
Miz comes out. He's got a different look going. I mean, but it's WrestleMania. You snazz things up a little bit, which I thought was weird. His entrance, is that, and I think they're trying to evolve his character. I want you to speak on that here. Help me out, maybe understand a little bit more. But he sends the Miz Taraj away. Which I thought was odd there. But then, Baylor comes out, and, a lot of fans were already disappointed. They were expecting the Demon. The Demon really didn't make much sense in this case. It's not like a blood feud. He hasn't teased it anyway.
But it's still a pay-per-view, and the Demon only comes out in the biggest stages. And I was shocked that maybe a rainbow demon, maybe those gimmicks that he has coming out of his head.
Well, I was going to say, as you were asking, he had just a small group of, we assume, individuals representing LGBTQ, and they had on the Baylor Club is for Everyone t-shirts that have like the rainbow stripe in the design. Right. It was kind of a brief moment, but then he also had that incorporated into his gear. And I'm with you. I kind of missed a little bit of the commentary at that point because I was busy in our live discussion. But I think they were kind of they were putting it over that Baylor Club is for everyone. This is a this is a celebration for everyone, pretty much.
There is a rumor that apparently Stephanie McMahon wants to promote an openly homosexual strong character, whether it be male or female. Now, let's be real clear here, ladies and gentlemen. For me, in my humble opinion, I don't give a damn who the hell you love, as long as, you know, I love is love for me, so I don't really care. But I think, just understand, nobody ever said Finn Balor was gay, or whether he was straight, or they didn't say he was coming out of the closet, or whatever the hell terminology that's being used. But you know, a lot of people on social media were already assuming that Finn Balor was a homosexual because he was coming out in these colors and everything like that. No, I think he just feels strongly about, you know, the LGBTQ community, and you know, and if he is, so what? I mean, so what the hell? Who cares? But I still wanted to see the demon. This is my problem. This is the problem I had with this damn thing. And the biggest problem I had with this damn thing is, by the way, the finish was crazy. This match was great, by the way. Let's talk about the match really quickly. Let's forget about all this other stuff. What did you think about this damn match? Because I thought it was real damn good. Just really quickly, you know, you have let me see. You have Rollins. Was it Rollins? No, you have the coup de grace hit by Finn Balor, and then freaking Seth Rollins comes and hits the blackout on, like, to the back of freaking Finn Balor's head. He smashes into the Miz, and then he hits the Miz with the freaking blackout and goes over. I thought it was a really creative, really cool way. I wanted to throw up when Seth Rollins won the title, because I hate Seth Rollins as a good guy. I really wanted the Miz to retain that title. I think the Miz should have broken that record of longest reigning IC champion, but he can still always become the longest reigning all-around IC champion, I believe, right?
Yeah, that was the record he was always talking about. It was just most consecutive days. So that's still always on the table for him. Right. And I would like to see him. I'd like to see him maybe even hold off on that until they can get Jericho back to have, you know, the most reigns as a champion, taking on the guy who's, you know, looking for the most days, which would be a great program. I guess, you know, me and you, we have the privilege and the honor to work with so many great minds that understand the business for, you know, how things happen from bell to bell. And you know, that kind of rubs off on us, and we start to see things through their eyes. So this match, for me, I don't really want to knock it. I mean, the crowd was up for it. It had great energy. But I think they probably did just a little too much for an opener.
They did.
That would steal the thunder as we get it later into the show. And especially, I know we're going to talk about it. You know, we got all these other matches to cover. Well, you got to about 2.5 hours into this thing, and it became a chore at times.
You know, I was going to say that this WrestleMania started off, and I was going back and forth with Billy Ray Valentine, texting back and forth, and I was saying, this looks like this is going to be one of the greatest WrestleMania of all time. The way every match so far is freaking awesome, even though it was just 2 matches into the kickoff and 1 match, the first match in. But then we get this match, and I was like, holy crap. And we're talking about the Asuka versus your precious Char. For those here at OneWrestling.com.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to give everyone the 411 here.
All right, so to you fans who don't listen to us on the Hami Media Discussion Movement and are just solely are fans of OneWrestling.com, Ric Vickery is absolutely unequivocally in love with Charlotte Flair. If he could marry Charlotte Flair tomorrow, he probably would. If he was married, he'd probably leave his wife, his kids, his grandparents, and whoever the heck is around, anyone he loves, his boss, and his dog Ronald.
Well, I would take her last name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Rick. Oh, you're an idiot. You're a freaking idiot.
That's like the number 1 selling point.
Listen. Apparently, Charlotte was ready for Asuka. This match was great. This was a freaking great match. I was fully invested in this match. These girls were potatoing the hell out of each other. I was going to use the terminology stiff, but then you have some idiots that don't know how to think, like grown-ups. But they were extremely stiff, and I'm sure so were you. And watching Char. And the fact is that I did not see this finish coming. I picked Asuka to win this. You picked your precious Char Char. I know that for a fact. And Char Char goes over. And not only does she go over, she freaking makes Asuka tap out with the figure 8. Dude, break this match down.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, man, the hard-hitting action, as you said, they were working, more of, I guess what we could call closer to a strong style. They were bringing it. They were on their A game. And you could tell that they knew they had something special. One of the beautiful things about WrestleMania is the pageantry. And Charlotte, man, what an incredible entrance. Maybe one of the the best entrance of the evening.
Possibly. I think.
It was just over the top. They tried to get something with Asuka. I thought the graphic thing, it came off a little cheesy, but the effort there was there to really put an emphasis on how important this match was. And those two ladies, they just flat out brought it.
Can I ask you a question about the graphic thing? Were those on TV graphics, or were they what do you call those things?
Well, you see, at first I thought they were kind of dropped down from the set, but yeah, it was a CGI.
But could the fans see it? What do you call it? Remember when they had Tupac who died?
Oh yeah, the hologram.
Were they holograms or?
I don't believe so. I've seen some people talking that were actually in the stadium, and no one's made mention of it.
Okay.
But they're probably all tired, or they're heading down to hit the bars. For a little,
Street,
down on Bourbon Street. I don't want to reach out to anybody right now, but that's a good follow-up. But I think they were just graphics for us on television. They were cheesy in this match, and I really thought they were cheesy later with the Undertaker.
That is disgusting. That is disgusting.
Hey, but the match itself, I mean, you talk about incredible. I mean, they knew this was the biggest stage, and they went out there to perform, and this is going to be one of the matches of the night as people sit back and reflect on the evening. The only thing that was kind of questionable was the one top rope spot with the I'm trying to think of the maneuver where Charlotte kind of went with the backflip into the drive, Asuka face first into the mat. Mm-hmm. It kind of she was going with the moonsault move into it. Looked like there was a lot of room there for error. It was very dangerous. Don't know how much that's needed, but man, I'm glad they landed it. It looked fantastic, and I was really afraid that they were going to.
The Spanish Fly.
Yes, that's what the Spanish Fly.
That was, dude. Let me tell you something. That looked like violent ballet. It was so beautiful. I gotta be honest with you. I was, listen, man,
but it was that close for
but
room for error.
But that's how good those two are.
Then the reversal where Asuka, where she actually did land the moonsault and Asuka caught her and put her in the submission hold. Was tremendous, perfect timing.
Oh yeah, what was that? The spot off the top rope. Yeah, and she lands right into it. Charlotte lands right into the submission. Unbelievable timing. I mean, these girls really brought it, man. I'm giving this match 5 stars. I'm serious. That's how much I really enjoyed this match, and then the emotion that Charlotte was showing after. She was busted open, her elbow. Now.
Really, as we're sitting here talking, and I'm kind of looking down the rest of this card, I think when we get to the end of this is probably going to be our match of the night.
Hold your horses there, Chief. I think there was one that may have been a little better, but
well, I mean, this does get the Char edge.
Oh,
but I'll hear you out.
Of course, no, but in all seriousness, this match could have ended with Asuka. She didn't have to say anything. I think Asuka maybe just handing the belt over to Charlotte was enough. Taking the mic and crying and Charlotte was ready for Asuka. I was like, oh, that was so freaking cheesy, dude. That was the Saved by the Bell moment of the night. That killed it for me.
I think that's probably in their minds, that's a way to kind of save grace for Asuka for taking that defeat. And, now we see where she goes from here. I was more bothered by all the John Cena stuff that was going on instead of, these ladies having this moment.
Well, let me just feed the fans, man. Yeah, John Cena's hanging out with his family, sitting ringside, drinking a couple of beers. I thought, Rick, that your idea, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't listen to the Locker Room on Mondays on Hami Media, you can always go over to the Hitting the Marks Pro Wrestling podcast. You can download that and stream that any way you listen to your favorite audio content as well. Ric Vickery and his partner, his Huckleberry, or I think he calls you his Huckleberry, or maybe you guys are each other's Huckleberries. How does that work out?
I guess it's whoever's got the steering wheel that day, man. But it's usually Jargo. He's one of the greatest producers out there. I don't want to put him as number one here since I am on your show.
No, he's damn great. No. Jargo is great.
For me, there's nobody better. He is my number one tag team partner in crime, Michael Jargo. And you're all right. They can find us anywhere they're listening to their favorite podcast, Hitting the Mark Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Absolutely. And I would implore you guys to check it out. So all in all, this match was freaking awesome. And I thought it was great. Wasn't a big fan of the whole stuff that was going on with John Cena on the side. I thought it was okay. At one point, you have the referee, I believe his name was Dan, or I think it's Dan something, Dan Angler or something like that. He ran down. He tells John Cena something. John Cena jumps the barricade and runs to the back. So I'm like, okay, the Undertaker's definitely here. And I got stooged off that the Undertaker was there. So for me, it was no surprise, but I like the way they set up. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Why don't we talk about another mid-card title for the United States title? It is Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton versus Rusev Putria. Rusev Machka. And dude, I got chills when I heard the fans, 80,000 fans chanting Rusev Day. Can you break down the finish of this match and kind of tell us what your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to tell you kind of what I remember of this thing. We just watched it here, but there was so much action going on. We were over in the Hameen Media discussion group on Facebook, and we're in the live chat. We had so much great interaction going on there, and I had just typed out my message and hit send. It is incredible how these thousands upon thousands there in New Orleans just absolutely love Rusev. And it seems like as soon as I hit send, there he is taking the pin.
That broke my heart. Now here's the thing, though. With Rusev, see, I had done,
and it was just on a roll up, correct? I'm just trying to remember back to it.
I think let me give the breakdown here. I have my notes down here. After a glorious DDT, you have Jinder Mahal breaks up the pin. We have Rusev with the Machka kick on Roode and the roundhouse. Then Jinder with a schoolboy, no good. And then a second roundhouse puts him out. He looks for the accolade, but then Sunil Singh runs a little interference, and Jinder Mahal basically wins by pinfall via a roll-up pin. No, I'm sorry, no, not a roll-up pin. He snuck up behind Rusev and hit his finisher, the Indian rock bottom, I guess you would call it. I don't know what the hell the finisher is called again, but his the Colossus.
Okay, yeah.
It's the Colossus, and I got to tell you something, man. I had mentioned during my predictions here and over at Hameen Media that I wanted Rusev to win the title, but I wouldn't have been mad if Jinder won it, because Jinder should have won this before. He's that heel champion, the heel wrestler, the foreigner, the quote unquote foreigner with the U.S. title is something that has worked for years in the world of professional. I mean, look at Ivan Koloff. Look at when he beat Bruno Sammartino, during that time in the United States. Look at Nikita Koloff when he was the United States champion, fighting the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, the Magnum TA. It just works, and I think Jinder is. Some people don't like Jinder. I like Jinder. I think you should not hinder Jinder. But your thoughts? I'm sorry.
I gotta agree with you here. I was definitely rooting for Rusev. Would have been a great moment. I think he could have done wonders with it. But he's still in a good place. I don't think he really needs the championship. And then when we're talking about Jinder, this seems like they're just hitting as we were talking earlier. The beautiful thing about wrestling is you can kind of get a fresh start. It seems like they're hitting the reset. This is where he should have been a year ago when they pushed him into the WWE title picture. That kind of backfired. This is probably the right direction. You've got that evil foreigner who's still against America. Now he's holding your championship.
And don't forget, what's Rusev's partner's name again? The guy he comes down, Aiden English.
Mr. Aiden English.
I'm so glad he cut off his hair.
Well, I was going to say, did you notice that he had to have shaved between the Battle Royal in this match.
Did he?
Yeah, he had hair in the Battle Royal. That he's the first one out, and then he reemerges a couple matches into the main card, and he's got his Mr. Clean look going.
We're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to do some digging because we have to figure out if that was a rib. Maybe somebody did something to him backstage. He had to cut the rest of his hair off. But yeah, absolutely. I think he looks 10 times better, to be honest with you. But he looks. I just
wish somebody, and I know the professional wrestler, someone has a hookup, would get him in contact with a tropical tan, or just let him know that the sun is free.
Jesus Christmas, the guy is white. Yo, who's whiter, him or Sheamus? All right, him, Aiden English, Sheamus, or Paige? Go.
All I know right now, I've seen enough of Paige on the big screen and the small screen. That is one I don't want to see.
Dude, wow, we got almost 2,000 comments on the Hameen page over there, huh? On Facebook.
Yeah, what an incredible night! Like I was telling you, man, there was so much activity going on, so many great minds, so many just enthusiastic fans that were just sharing it. And I guess I was there the entire night, and kind of the general reception to this show was people weren't really disappointed, but it was a roller coaster of a ride. They didn't know what to expect and what was going on, and so many twists and turns.
All right, right now I'm trying to find out, before we get into this, who the hell that Nicolas kid was. I mean, that's going to be down the line, but I'm trying to figure out who Nicolas was WrestleMania. I don't know if you heard anything, but just save it if you know, or maybe you can do a little research.
Okay, I can kind of look around here briefly, but no, I mean, we're coming in here fresh, man. And well, the only thing I had noticed from Nicolas, what a great debut. Nowhere near the botches that Ronda Rousey in her first couple weeks.
Okay. Hold on. Let's get into this match. Forget about Nicolas. We'll save Nicolas for the end of the show. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. All right, mixed tag team match. This was a fun car wreck, in my opinion.
Great novelty match.
It was fun, dude. I had fun watching the damn match. And you know what? Triple H and Stephanie did not go over strong. You know, I think Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey looked good. Ronda Rousey looked, let me tell you something. How can I put this? Stephanie almost killed herself a few times. Leave it like that. I think Ronda Rousey did a damn good job, man. She showed emotion. She showed anger. I thought she actually sold okay. And to be honest with you, dude, for her first match at WrestleMania, I'm gonna say something, and I don't know how I'm gonna get eaten alive for this, but I was impressed with the young lady for doing what she did her very first time in that higher profile match. And also, I'm gonna say this to you, Rick. I was so happy with the way the WWE set up this match card. I think from top to bottom they did it right. This was in the middle of the pack match. It wasn't the main event, because if this was the main event, that would have been the drizzling you know what. And this wasn't the main event. I thought they lined this up perfectly. And it ended with basically the two biggest titles. Go ahead, Rick. Give me your...
Well, I think the reason where we saw this fall on the card wasn't because really that they thought they had bigger matches later in the show. I think they were smart enough to realize that we're dealing with 7 hours, and a lot of these fans have been there that long, or they've been there for at least 5 hours. So you want to, when you're pacing this thing out, you want to kind of get them when you know they're still going to be hot. They were still hot at this point. It wasn't until after this match that things started to cool off a little bit. I think they were smart enough to know to throw this right here. Hey, and another thing here, this was the longest match of the evening. This was given the most time. Was this really the longest match? This actually, it edged out the WWE Championship by about 20 seconds. Okay. So this one, both of them just went over 20.
How long did this match go, by the way?
20 minutes, 20-40.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, go.
And I think, and I think it's fair to show some praise towards Ronda. I think when she got into her flow, you could tell she was getting more comfortable as the match progressed. Yeah. She was definitely more comfortable when she was on the offensive, because that's just her mindset. Mm-hmm. That's what an MMA fighter does. She doesn't really know how the selling still isn't there, but hey, she knows how to go out and still throw a move and a holding somebody and still hurt somebody. But I think the praise is there for the first time out. And especially if this was going to be a one-off celebrity match, kind of like we'd seen like from an LT or something, then yes, I mean, it was tremendous. But we do have to remember, this is just the first. So hopefully now, maybe we don't see her back in the ring until like SummerSlam. Right. Because I think there's still a lot of work she needs to do.
No, I agree with you, man. But at the same time, again, this match, like I said, was a fun car wreck, dude. It was like bumper cars. It was all over the place. There were botches, there were mistakes, but it was so much fun. And there were a couple of times that I thought Triple H was gonna win. I thought Stephanie was gonna win. I thought maybe Ronda would tap out Triple H. It was just cool to watch, man. There was time. How many times did you think Kurt Angle was gonna take the pin to Triple H, Rick?
Oh, there were a couple times, and even coming in, there was so much online and thinking, where is this story going to go forward? I had some serious doubts that that maybe Ronda would turn on Kurt.
Yeah, I mean, there was so many different possibilities and angles this match could have went.
Well, hey, going forward, Kurt Angle getting fired. I guess tonight it would actually be, but on Monday Night Raw, is he going to get fired?
Is he going to get fired? Maybe suspended without pay. Maybe Vince gets involved. I don't know. But yeah, I mean that's possible that he gets fired. He gets thrown off of TV for some time for interfering. Technically, could a boss fire you for that?
I can't imagine they'd be too happy, and they were kind of making that point. They signed the paychecks. That was kind of a driving home point from them.
And the point was driven in. But again, for you guys that don't know, Ronda Rousey, she had Stephanie McMahon, by the way, who I absolutely adored the angle that the camera was shooting when Stephanie was in the armbar. For those who don't know, go back to the WWE Network and you'll see what the hell I am talking about.
Do you think that Stephanie was kind of hanging in there too long?
Yes, I thought. See, the first time when she had the armbar, that being Ronda Rousey, and Stephanie was able to stand up and kind of pull guard on the armbar, I was like, yeah, okay, bull crap. There's no way. This girl is a class A MMA fighter, like a world class judo player, a world class MMA submission machine. Ain't no regular chick that works in the office. I don't care how much wrestling training you got, gonna be able to hold that off that armbar. She could put it on anybody. She could put it on you. She could put it on me. She could put it on Bill Apter. She could put it on Ben Hameen. Ben Hameen will say no, but she can put it on him probably. She could put it on. She could definitely put it on Andrew Bello. Now, if she can get around his nose, then maybe she could hook that up. I have something that just came up here on my computer, but it's fine.
She held it on Triple H and that snods for a while, so.
Yeah, I mean that's one big no. Those are two big noses. I would love to see that. WrestleMania 35, Andrew Bello's nose versus Triple H's nose. And by the way, Billy Ray Valentine and the Professor did a prediction show, and they didn't shut up about me the entire show. You should have heard them. They were just praising me. Ray is the best. We love Big Ray, the most handsome. His face is not punchable. If we swung that way, we would date him. Like all this amazing stuff. You had to listen.
Well, I mean, you are the new poster child, the face pretty much of Stevie Richards Fitness.
Yeah, allegedly. That's what I hear. Allegedly, but anyway,
I guess we'll wait until there's royalty checks start pouring in.
Well, Bill Apter's supposed to be sending me some dough, and apparently Carl the cameraman over here is supposed to be getting something. But between you and me, Carl the cameraman doesn't get paid half of what happened? Nothing. Anyway. He's nosy. Anyway, so all in all, Rick, great match. Not great match, fun match.
Yeah, and I think the crowd had a lot of fun, and I know just from the small sample group that we were interacting with over in the Hami Media discussion group, everyone had a lot of fun with this thing.
Dude, this was the Hillbilly Jim, Little Beaver, Haiti Kid versus King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and I forgot the other guy, Little Gimmick Jones, Lord Littlebrook. There you go. Wow, I can't believe I remember all those names. That was this match. It was fun. It was something different. It was a show. It was cool. I liked it.
Closing thoughts. Let's talk about one. I have to say, as fun as this was, looking here at the match card, this next one wasn't so fun. This is where the show kind of took a dive for me.
Okay, so this was you're right, because this show started off like freaking Wrestle Kingdom 9. You know what I'm saying? It was that damn good, man. It was like, wow, great match. Oh my god. And then you get the Bludgeon Brothers with Harper and Rowan versus the New Day versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And you know, somebody made a good point. How do you sit down next to somebody that you love that doesn't watch wrestling and explain midgets dressed as pancakes? How do you explain that?
Well, you know, especially we just come out of who is supposed to be, you know, she brings some legitimacy to WWE. They're selling her as the baddest, you know, the toughest woman on the planet. And we've got 2 Olympic athletes in there. You've got Triple H, one of the greatest of all time. You know, even Stephanie, who's not a professional when it comes to the wrestling sense, but she's the corporate head. You've got all that going on, and then you switch over, and we got all this cartoonish behavior where it comes out. It's one of those things. I travel quite a bit for work. You know, I'm in marketing, hospitality marketing, so I'm out visiting all the time, and I'll convince people to turn wrestling on. And a lot of times, I have to explain to a lot of people that have turned away from the product what's going on. And it's almost embarrassing at times when New Day comes out, and this was just like the epitome of that.
How do you explain it to them, though? Like, what do you say? Like, how do you say that these guys that are gyrating their hips and acting like fools?
It's really hard to, and you have to remind people of, you know, when they were younger, you know, some of the more cartoonish characters, and that there are marketing towards, you know, families and kids, but I mean, it's really rough for people to take it serious, especially when you're going to follow up Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey with this stuff.
You know what totally sucks? And this is when the person that you're trying to convince to watch wrestling comes back and says, "This is why I don't watch wrestling anymore." I'm just
that's usually it.
I'm just saying, dude. Isn't it different doing video over podcasts?
Most certainly.
It feels a little weird, right?
I know.
I mean, how do you feel that you get to look at me? You know, do you remember? What were the guys?
Oh man, you know, I'm just going here, man. I don't even know what I'm doing. I just got the matches and some stats up in front of me, so I'm just.
What was the name? Do you remember the tag team back a few years ago in the WWE? It was the French guys.
La Resistance.
La Resistance. Who it was, and he became NWA champion. What's his name? Do you remember the guy's name?
It was LaFon. Wasn't it LaFon?
What was the other guy's name?
Hold on. The guy that's the current champ?
No, he was NWA champ. Rob Conway.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the British invasion.
So no, I'm talking about Rob Conway. Rob Conway had a theme song. It goes, "Just look at me. Do you like what you see?" You remember that song? Remember they?
I think you would be more fitting with the old William Regal when he kind of went away from the the Englishman act when he was like the all-American construction worker.
He's such a man. Yeah. Such a man.
That was one of my guilty pleasure gimmicks. It's like me and one of my buddies, man. We love that.
I love that song. Do you know? I listen to that song when I'm just before I'm about to go make out with my woman. I listen to that song.
There we go. Get you all pumped up. It's your little blue pill.
That is just disrespectful and disgusting, my friend. Bludgeon Brothers with Harper and Rowan versus the New Day. Versus, we said this already. This was stinker. And the thing is that this is a no disqualification match, but one of these matches had to be the short match of the night, and I think this was the shortest match of the night.
Pretty much. This was at 5:50. Then actually if you count the segment, everything with Cena Taker took longer, but it was actually a shorter match.
Okay. And it should have been a shorter match because the Bludgeon Brothers have been bludgeoning their opponents for the last few months on WWE TV. I did call this one. I thought the Bludgeon Brothers would become the tag team champions of SmackDown. I had no problem with it. It was what it was again. But you're right, dude. I think this show started taking a little bit of a turn. Why don't you give us your opinions on this before we move on to the next segment?
Like you were saying, though, this was pretty obvious direction. Bludgeon Brothers, they've just been completely dominating. My only problem with it is, I mean, they got two tremendous talents in Harper and Rowan, and they're just, I think they're being, just drugged down by this just terrible gimmick. If they could just be themselves or be more like they were with the Wyatt family, I think this would get over so much better. But I mean, this campy, these campy outfits and the hammers and all that, it's just too overboard. And I don't know even where do you go with either of these tag divisions. They have just completely just let these things deteriorate almost to where they're worthless on both brands.
I got some breaking news. Billy Ray Valentine has just found out who this kid is. I just sent you a message. Do not stooge it off. I want people to watch the end of this video when we get to that segment. I found out what the hell, Carl is the kid's name? Not your name. I'm sorry, dude. Nicolas. We found out who Nicolas was. Do you see the picture?
Yes, I see it here, man. This is going to be some big news. They're going to want to stay tuned for this one.
This is absolute gold, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to stay tuned to the end of the video when we get to that segment, and we're going to break down who Nicolas was.
Oh, I cannot believe this if this holds up.
Absolutely. No, this is it. This is right. Billy Ray Valentine actually just sent this to me. Thank you, Billy Ray Valentine, for this stooge report here. Anyway.
So the conspiracy is in.
So, okay, so you're asking me about the tag team division. You said that the tag team division is pretty much falling apart. Sorry about that.
Well, from both brands, I don't know where they really go here. And they have been. They've been kind of a joke for a little while.
Yeah, it's true. And you have so many good potential tag teams.
Well, I was going to say, the shame is because both divisions are loaded with talent. They're just not being properly utilized.
Well, listen, the Bludgeon Brothers just won that title, right? So now you can do one of two things. Now you have the what are these guys? The guys in NXT, the big guys. The
AOP, the Authors of Pain.
Right, the Authors of Pain. You have the Authors of Pain. You can do one of two things. You can either bring the Authors of Pain into SmackDown to feud with the Bludgeon Brothers, or which I think they should do, you have the Authors of Pain go over to Raw and be that dominant team there. So you have two dominant teams, because I think the Bludgeon Brothers need to face off against the Hardys. Now, is it going to be Broken Bray and Woken Matt, or is it going to be Brother Nero and Broke and Woken Matt moving down the line? I think eventually that's going to be your SummerSlam match. Your thoughts?
Hey, You've got me kind of, perking up for that one, man. Edge of my seat stuff right there. That would be really interesting. And it goes back to, what you brought up was we were kicking off the show. What's that dynamic going to be with Wyatt with the Hardys? And then you bring in some of his old cronies. That makes for some interesting, potential interesting stories. That's the direction I go. And I also agree with you. I've been saying over in the locker room on the Hami Media Group and over with Jargo and the Hitting Mark Pro Wrestling Podcast, each brand, it kind of has that distinct feel to it. Raw is what it is. It's raw. It's gritty. And AOP has more of that vibe than what you typically associate with the blue brand.
Now, I haven't been watching NXT much. I've kind of started just recently here and there. AOP, have they gotten better from the last time I saw them? And I haven't seen them in months.
They continue to be one of the top contenders in the NXT division, and the NXT division is one of the best tag divisions in the world. But going back to Saturday's takeover, it seems as if that was finally their farewell.
Okay.
They were they were involved in the Dusty Rhodes Classic finals along with the NXT Tag Team Championship. But later in that match, the story really shifted away from them. They were kind of just off to the side. I would expect to see them either at Raw or SmackDown.
Hold on one second. Billy Ray is giving me... Hold on. Then whose kid is it? Okay, I'm going to get some answers here. Anyway. I lost my train of thought. What were you saying?
I'm just talking about AOP, where they're at. Looks like I'm just going to say expect them to be called up.
Oh, yeah.
Or I hate the term called up. Expect them to move to the red or the blue brand here within the next couple days. But then again, for us that regularly follow NXT, we've been saying that going back to November, and each time they keep sticking around in NXT. Hey, and honestly, with the state that the tag divisions are in between Raw and SmackDown, I'm not so sure just kind of being lost in the shuffle in NXT is a bad place to be.
All right, so I thought I knew who this kid was, We do have some photographic evidence, but we don't know who this kid is related to.
Well, we've got a couple matches for confirmation here, so we've got a little time.
You're gonna have to stay tuned. But anyway, why don't we jump into the next segment? We have Elias who comes to the ring, and John Cena first comes to the ring. And everybody think it's supposed to be John Cena. John Cena is gonna face the Undertaker. The lights go out and people start bugging out. Oh my God, Jesus! The Undertaker is here, and it's Elias. The first time Elias has been booed, I think, ever in the WWE. He comes down, fools the crowd. John Cena gets pissed off, beats him up, hits him with the 5 moves of doom, the AA, boom, 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 done, right? And then, what do we get, Rick?
You get Cena kind of a dejected Cena. He's disappointed, obviously. He goes to exit, and then he gets a little startled. We get the presence of the Undertaker. First, you get some of the smoke kind of rising up around the ramp. It's what kind of alarms Cena. Then we get the imagery in the ring of the trench coat and the hat. We get another round of very cheesy CGI graphicing.
Was it
with
CGI? Nobody saw that? You telling me nobody saw that in the audience?
I don't believe so. I think they just saw the pyro that briefly popped during the lightning. It seemed to me that was just for us at home. Again, it looked terrible. Man, this might be, and then at this point, the Undertaker makes his entrance, and we've got the match underway. This is probably going to be a very unpopular opinion. I kind of lumped this in with the triple threat tag match. This is where the show was going downhill for me. I could have gone without either one of these matches or segments. This was a complete waste on an already loaded card, and it was hurting for time. And even though maybe they combined, they only took 20, 25 minutes, that was 25 far too much. I didn't need any of this here. Would have preferred Undertaker did not show up, and then we started a year-long build. I would have preferred to see a year-long build to next year at WrestleMania 35, where we got a year of John Cena kind of going crazy about himself trying to get a hold of the Undertaker for a WrestleMania match.
Well, what exactly did this do except pop the crowd? What was the purpose of this? And he squashed John Cena. He hit the old school, hit the corner lariat, the snake eyes, the big boot, the choke slam. And then he hits the tombstone pile driver for the 1, 2, 3.
Well, Cena works pretty cowardly throughout this thing. He completely just kind of freaks out when Undertaker sits up. I mean, we're talking about John Cena, 16-time champ. It's not sure it's the first time they've met at WrestleMania, but they've had dozens of other matches. I mean, Cena should know what's going to happen. He should have been scouting this. It came off weird to me. I'm guessing we're going to get this again next year. This is kind of how they're going to set up that year-long build. I just didn't know if we needed it here.
How are you going to call out the Undertaker? And you're right, dude. This guy is about to break Ric Flair's record for the most championships, world championships in the history of professional wrestling. And you're going to cower and act like a child when the Undertaker, you've been calling the dude out for like 8 months, and you're surprised that he actually showed up. It's you know what it's like? Hold on, Rick. You know what it's like? It's like you see a random pit bull walking around the street, right? And you say, let me take the stick and let me try to stick it in its eye and see what happens. The pit bull's gonna bite your ass.
Yeah, eventually you're gonna get bit. But I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. This John Cena that we're seeing, he went through all, I'm going to enter the Rumble and win. That didn't work out for me. I'm going into the Chamber and win. That didn't work out for me. So now I'm going to, flex, kind of flex my muscle a bit and use my pool, and I'm going to get into the six-pack challenge at Fastlane. That didn't work out for him. To me, he's really been acting like, you remember the shows on MTV, like My Sweet 16, with them like just completely spoiled, brat, entitled little snobs?
Oh, like it's Antebello.
Okay. It's My Sweet 16 Cena, where he's kind of using his pool to get his way, but those keep falling short. So then when he really couldn't, he threw a tantrum, a temper tantrum, and then we kind of saw, once he was doing that, now that someone kind of came to slap his wrist, he couldn't take it. That's the Cena that we saw here, and I think that's the closest we're ever going to get to seeing a heel Cena. But it's not the kind I want to see. I still, if he's going to be a little bit more of a villain, still have some of those John Cena characteristics.
Is he going to be Hollywood John Cena?
You know, that's an interesting question. I mean, they've got the perfect making for it, and maybe potentially that's why they're trying to move Miz out of that spot so that we don't have the duplicate characters.
I want to see John Cena with very expensive suits, sunglasses, and complaining because he has too many green M&Ms and not enough blue.
Well, you know, Jargo, he always jokes about that if they do kind of transform Cena in that direction, that he should become more of Nikki Bella.
Oh, God. What do you mean? What does that mean?
You know, where you really, like, you do have that, you're that Hollywood, you're that better, but everything is, I guess, maybe they are kind of going that way because she is kind of that entitled snob.
I gotta tell you something, Rick. I just took my shoes off, and Jesus, it smells like I was baking a cake in there.
Well, I mean,
terrible.
What kind of ventilation do you guys have there at the One Wrestling office?
Oh, not too good, man. Not too good. I gotta be honest with you. Bill Apter hasn't paid the electric bill. I'm running on a generator right now.
I was gonna say, you know, times are rough right now, especially in the wrestling business. You know, after WrestleMania, things really slow down. So.
Yeah, but I heard we'll be doing very well in the coming years. So we'll see how that turns around. But anyway, listen, man. I gotta tell you, dude. This was just a waste of my time. This John Cena gimmick, this John Cena match, wasn't happy with it. It was okay. It was fun fodder, I guess you would say, for the crowd that was there. For me watching at home, it could have happened. It didn't have to happen. It did nothing for me. Did nothing for business other than, again, popping the crowd.
Well, you know, talk about business there. You know, everyone's kind of focusing on Taker Cena. How about Elias?
Elias got made to look like a piece of crap, in my opinion.
I mean, he was pretty much in that Eric Rowan role. You know, in The Rock, they just had to find a spot for him, so he went out and took a rock bottom and has the world's, you know, the history's shortest WrestleMania match.
I'm just not happy, Rick, with this. Just saying.
Well, let's move on. Let's get on to some other bigger things in the show here.
You know what? A match I was pretty happy about. I thought they picked it up again a little bit with this match. You had Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This was a shocker. Number one, let me explain this to you people out there. There is no way in hell. Listen to me. I had this diverticulitis disease, okay? And I'm a big, strong guy. And I'm maybe not on the Triple H gimmick, but that thing almost killed me. Okay, there is no way you're going to recover 2 weeks into having diverticulitis, and nonetheless being stepped on, punched in the stomach, thrown over the... No way. I think that was all bull crap. I want to see the documents. I want to speak to that doctor. I want to know what... I want to know whatever doctor he went to, because I was in the hospital for well over a month. That's how bad. I was in the hospital, and then I went home for 2 additional weeks. So I was in the hospital for 30-something days, and then I went home for another 2 weeks. That's how long it took me to get over diverticulitis. And he not only has that, he had hernia, and apparently he grew a third leg. I don't know. Dude, Rick, what the hell?
I was saying, you know, if you lived it, there's no debating it. I mean, you were right there. You know firsthand what...
It almost killed Brock Lesnar.
Well, here's probably what happened. We know that the WWE likes to embellish on things. You know, it's always been, are the attendance numbers always there? Is something to this extreme? They probably, this condition was probably simply mentioned in passing, and then they ran with it.
Maybe he did have diverticulitis. Maybe he had it back in 1994.
Yeah, or, you know, maybe they ran a test for it. They thought that, you know, that sounds good for a storyline. That's a good buzzword. People that are going to understand really what that is, that's really going to sell this thing. Hey, I'll tell you what, though. He was selling it like crazy. I mean, even if he did have something went wrong with him, I mean, he looked like he could barely get himself out of there afterwards. And like you said, I mean, he took every bump in this thing. He
was red like a tomato. But I got to tell you something, man. I did get chills when Daniel Bryan made his entrance to the ring. I did get chills when he got into the ring for the very first time. I also got chills when he was in the ring alone with Sami Zayn at the end, hitting the yes kicks. Finally, with his finisher, the running knee to the face, and then the yes lock, and he makes Sami Zayn tap, which Ben called that. I thought the bad guys were over, but they will never return. They kept emphasizing they will never return to a SmackDown ring.
I was going to say, I was going to say that was pointed out to me by Jargo.
SmackDown.
They made sure that they emphasized the SmackDown portion of that.
Did we mention SmackDown?
I don't know. I think maybe somewhere in between when they were telling us that WrestleMania was going to be free for new subscribers, maybe that came up.
You know how stupid I feel that I pay $99 a month? Why do I do this? Why am I an honest guy?
I'm with you, man. I was planning on dumping the thing when I went to New Japan World and Honor Club, but you know what? Just in case, we love this business. We're on the journalistic side of it. We don't want to cheat it, I guess. So I guess we'll do things the right way.
Well, listen. I thought this was a damn good match. I enjoyed it. Shane McMahon never ceases to amaze me doing the cross country gimmick that he jumps from one side of the ring to the other with the drop kick on Sami's.
Oh, the old coast to coast, man! And every time you think he's just gonna fall like halfway, and somehow he gets like that extra to carry him, the other half of the way.
McMahon's. Did you know? This is the truth. Did you know the McMahon family? They in their bodies have the ability to fly short distances.
Oh, they're like flying squirrels.
The McMahons are flying squirrels. What did you give this match, man? Did you like it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was laid out pretty well. You have Bryan come down, especially he takes that apron bomb.
Mm-hmm.
It made sense. We kind of thought this thing was going to go that way. They need to protect him. Then he comes back in where he's hot.
Out of nowhere, by the way. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Gets a huge pop. He takes everything over. We get the submission at the end there from him. And you have a great WrestleMania moment returning to New Orleans to get that crowd fired back up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're just over an hour here in this review. We're almost done.
We're there, man. We're getting there. We're on a home stretch.
Then they announced that the crowd is 78,133. It looked every bit of it, to be honest with you. But that's something I would have brought old Howard Finkel out to announce. Maybe it's just me. I'm just nitpicking right now. It's just me. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. And I had a bunch of problems with this match. First and foremost, Nia comes out and just obliterates Mickie James, which I liked. Did you like that?
Oh yeah, I thought it showed some real fire, and that she had a game plan. That makes sense. She knows that how conniving and underhanded Bliss is, and she's got Mickie doing her bidding right now. So she's got to get this match down to one-on-one, and not even getting it down to one-on-one, but this is going to shake up anything that Bliss had planned.
She ragdolled. She literally was using Mickie James like a baseball bat and hitting each side of the barricade, and it was great. My only problem with this match is I understand Alexa Bliss is an athlete. She's great. She's a champion. This match was booked. It was booked way too 50-50, dude. Alexa Bliss had way too much offense. I think she, when she had her in the DDT, when I think she hit it like twice. She shouldn't be able to hit even the DDT on this girl. It should be all strikes, hit and run, diving moves if she's gonna do it. I don't know, dude. But Nia Jax not only hit the Samoan drop, she hit an avalanche Samoan drop off the second rope, which scared the living crap out of me. But she hit it clean.
I was gonna say, you talk about taking a bump. That might be the bump of the night for Alexa Bliss.
Unbelievable. But you know what, man? Nia Jax got her spot, and she is your new Raw Women's Champion. What do you think they go from here with the Nia Jax?
Well, I guess kind of how they put this thing over after the match is exactly where they're going. The thing itself, it went about 10 minutes too long, and this match went 10 minutes and 15 seconds.
It was 250-50, dude.
And what really got me, and we knew going in, this is my major issue with this, and I've been kind of harsh towards Nia Jax, and it really has nothing to do with her weight or how she's built. it's more of, you know, how she comes across, her personality, you know, between her character work and, you know, the real Nia Jax, and then even how they're presenting this program here. This was essentially, you know, the script from Mean Girls. This is a politically correct after-school special,
Pretty
and
much,
then after she wins, that is all they put over. I mean, that was the driving point. So now going forward, I imagine we're going to have Big is Beautiful, embrace anything. You're more deserving if you have hardships in your life. Instead of trying to work hard and overcome those things, you'll be given opportunities. Because Kurt Angle even said she didn't earn it, she didn't deserve it. He's giving it to her. So that was a completely wrong message. I couldn't get into the story at all. And I'm actually more excited to see where they go forward with the Kid as a tag team champion than what they do is with Nia as a women's champion.
Listen to what I'm telling you here. When we break this news to the people, they're just going to be in shock. That's what I have to say. All right. Nia Jax is your champion. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. 20-minute match. I didn't see this coming. I did not see AJ Styles, and I'm not upset because I love AJ Styles. This was no Wrestle Kingdom 10. Was that what they wrestled King 10 or was it 9?
Oh man, we're pushing 2 o'clock here. It's one of those two. You know, it's a 45-minute classic from New Japan, and you know, a lot of people. And the reason when they booked this match, this was WWE kind of either like ribbing or insulting the smarter fans that had seen that match. It wasn't going to get that kind of, you know, it wasn't going to get the emphasis behind it. It wasn't going to get that time. They weren't going to get the freedom to go out and work that kind of match. This is going to be one of those, hey, we gave you your dream match. We gave you what you wanted, and now you guys aren't happy. And it looked, you know, that small sample group we were in, but, you know, 2,000 comments, we had a lot of people in there, and then kind of looking elsewhere, people, some feedback on this thing. This thing's not being well received. And I think maybe because it was so late in the show, it's following up a terrible women's match. There wasn't a lot of dive. They were telling an actual story during the match. I just don't know if it connected. But I'm with you. I'm not surprised that AJ went over, and it seemed like that finish swerved me, or like it came out of nowhere on me.
Well, see, I'm a fan of that type of match. You know,
oh, I enjoyed it. You know, it was a struggle back and forth for, you know, positioning and establishing an early dominance until things started picking up.
But this wasn't about, you know, it bugged me out, man, because this wasn't really about the championship. This was all about the heel turn. And you see all those handshakes and hugs and kisses and Charlotte was ready for Asuka. Sorry.
Well, and you know, it was probably, oh yeah, we'll get them, you know, because that's what the Japanese do. They're honorable.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh my god, the guys. I'm like, oh my gosh, people are gonna rip into this. He's kneeling down. What's he gonna do? Pull on his pants? Anyway, but no, Shinsuke. When I saw AJ Styles grab his shoulder, there was a point there. I said, is Shinsuke Nakamura gonna give him a sweet nut shot? Is he gonna give him the nut shot from hell? And he did, and I fell in love with Shinsuke Nakamura. You can give knee to face anytime. See, Shinsuke Nakamura, for fans that don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, was a bad guy.
He's a part of Chaos, one of the baddest crews.
One of the baddest crews, and I want to see Japanese gangster Shinsuke Nakamura. You know what I'm saying? I want to see crazy, wild Shinsuke Nakamura. I guess when they brought him to the WWE, they thought, you know, oh well, the guy dances and he's funny and charismatic and stuff. And no, that guy looks like he should be able to bite your face and eat it in front of you. That's what I want to see. Super happy about this. The match was a good match, but it wasn't what I expected. It went long. A lot of rest holds during the match. A lot of reverse chin locks. But I thought it was smooth. I did not see these styles clash out of nowhere, which was pretty cool. Well done with that. But all in all, I like this match because of what happened after the match.
I was going to say, long overdue. I've been screaming for at least 4 months. We need to see the more chaotic side of Nakamura. I think it could have been a much better build and run to WrestleMania had he been really teasing that villain side, and maybe even turned at Fastlane or turned during the match. You know what? I'm not going to over-analyze a thing. I'm just happy that it happened, and I'm going to look forward to this program going forward.
Well, we're going to move forward to the main event of the evening, and it's been a long night. Rick, I've been watching wrestling since 5 o'clock this evening as well, I'm sure, as you have. It is now 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to close up here. Bill Apter is nowhere to be found. He's actually in NOLA. He's in New Orleans. So I'm the one who has the keys. I have to close this office up, and I've already sorted through all the mail. I took care of all the emails and everything.
So are we combining these? I know we got the big news and then the main event.
Oh, crap. I forgot about that damn match. Tag team match for the Raw tag team titles. Braun Strowman and whomever versus Cesaro and Sheamus. And Braun Strowman comes and he's like, oh, I'm gonna pick one of you to be my partner. And I'm like, who is he pointing at? Is he pointing at Rey Mysterio? Is Rey Mysterio sitting on the crowd? Is Dean Malenko sitting out there? Somebody that I give a damn about sitting out there? No. He goes into the crowd and he picks up this kid, some random jabroni named Nicolas. But we got a stooge report here.
Oh, let's get the dirt. Let's get the dirt here.
You know what I'm gonna do?
What do you want to do?
I am going to put a picture. I'm gonna put this picture up right here. All right. This is the one we've been sent. You sent me here, right? You just inboxed me with this. Yep.
Yes, I do.
Do you see this? The circled face of the child?
I've got you. I'm locked in on him.
Who is he surrounded by?
Let's see here. I recognize some of these people here. Secretary of Small Business Administration, Chairman of the Board.
Is this freaking kid a McMahon?
It looks that way, unless he's a child activist actor. And they just had him ready to go there at the White House for this picture with he's sitting here rubbing shoulders with the leader of the free world, Mr. President Donald Trump.
This picture, as you fans can see here at OneWrestling.com, is a picture of the Donald with the McMahons and this kid.
Now, my question is, which side? I mean, I'm looking the way they're kind of standing. I think that's probably Shane's.
No, it's not Shane's kid. I thought it was. It's not his. I know his kids. Not that I know him personally, but that's not his kid.
Well, yeah, because his kids were there too, weren't they?
Yeah. So who the hell is this? Who is it? This kid is related somehow. He's a McMahon. I'm pretty sure he's a McMahon, or maybe is he a Trump?
No, I don't think he would be in the picture there with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, please leave your comments here below if you find out who the hell this is. We're gonna do some digging. We're gonna.
Linda's embracing him, has a hand, around him. But this is the way this looks is that Triple H and Stephanie's kids are on the other side with them.
No, Linda's actually reaching into the kid's back pocket for his wallet.
Okay, well, she got two hands there,
Well, any man with two hands should have been in this match, and that was James Ellsworth. But
I am with you, man. That's the only way I would have been 100% happy. But like you said, though, I mean, why not? We heard all the other names like a Lashley or so and so. But I mean, if you're going to go this route where it's kind of that he doesn't need a partner, why don't you go get some of the great legends, especially at WrestleMania week? You got so many on hand down there, and you can make that the gimmick going forward. That each week we get one of these to revisit with one of these great legends from the past.
Have freaking Kamala come down in the wheelchair. I don't care. Seriously, this is ridiculous.
Well, now here's what, and I didn't mind it when it happened here on the show. Maybe because we had, like you said, we've been watching at this point for 24 hours. It seemed like an entire week we've been. And how much content have we been putting out?
Kill me.
Over the last 5, 6, 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's kind of blurred together at this point. So I was kind of more laughing than I was feeling any other emotion here. But thinking about it, we're going to get this going forward probably. Every town they go to, he's going to pick out a kid.
Oh, no.
To go up there and stand on that ring apron.
No.
At one point, though, when the kid was kind of just standing there, when Sheamus tried to enter and Braun kind of caught him sneaking up, I admit, I was just waiting for the pop of the night if Sheamus would have just kicked the kid. right off the apron.
Well, the first I could tell the referee was kind of putting himself between. The referee was defending the kid. He was kind of like blocking, protecting the kid. But I did want to see somebody like screw up and just spin kick the kid right in the throat. I wanted to see that. Anyway.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm more excited about Nicolas moving forward with WWE Gold than I am Nia Jax.
Who the hell is Nicolas? We got to figure this out. But I put the picture up here so everyone can see it. Interesting. Now can we go to the main event?
Now it is time for the main event. You talk about a bit of a swerve here. I know you kind of saw it coming. You were suggesting it to people, but and everybody was hell bent that Roman, this was his time.
I made this pick quite some time ago, and I'm very proud to say that I picked Brock Lesnar. And officially, Brock Lesnar's contract was up at 11:59 p.m. on April 8th, which was the end of WrestleMania. So when he was walking backstage with that Universal title over his shoulder, he was no longer a WWE employee. What am I talking about? Brock Lesnar hit about 12 F5s. I'm exaggerating, but he hit about 6 or 7 F5s.
No, I was going to say it was close to 12. It was like 7 or 8.
I know he took this bitch to Suplex City. He hit about 8 of those things. But I think he hit about 5 F5s. And Roman Reigns was kicking out of everything, and I said to myself, this is over. And I don't know if he bled the hard way, but he was cut deep. And I'm talking about Roman Reigns when he was bleeding like a stuffed pig, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, that looked like from a typical place you're going to do that yourself. But yeah, man, he had that crimson mask working.
He did, yeah, it was up at the hairline. So I'm thinking he cut himself. I don't know if the WWE was okay with that, but it did add to the craziness in his eyes when he.
Well, you do know though that was a report. You know how strict they are with the athletic commission in Louisiana, that they had to go get special permission to allow any blood or pile drivers to be used.
The pile drivers are still banned by WWE.
Well, that was one of the things that were banned from the Louisiana Athletic Commission. So, like all the shows that were going on, all the indie shows,
okay,
so forth, they were banned from even using those things, and all of them were banned from using the blood. I think only WWE and Ring of Honor got the okay to go ahead and allow those things during their shows.
Ric Vickery, Brock Lesnar retains the title. He hits an F5 through a table outside. I mean, he just literally beat the living hell out of Roman Reigns. But it was a 50-50 match because I would even say Roman Reigns may have taken a little bit away from Brock Lesnar. But
agree.
When it was all said and done, Ric Vickery, it was the Beast Incarnate retaining. I mean, he kicked out of spears. I think Roman Reigns hit him with a building and shot him with a machine gun, but no. My champion, the guy I picked, was able to retain that title. So now, what?
Well, I don't have the exact dates in front of me here. I kind of jumped on with you, kind of short notice, and it is early morning here on the East Coast. It is going to time up. He is going to, and they made note of this during his entrance, that he currently holds the 3rd longest reign in the last 30 years. He would break the longest modern-day reign, which happens to be held by one CM Punk.
Cool.
He would actually break that coming up, and I believe that would be in Chicago at Money in the Bank. You have to believe that the company, how much they love erasing the history with some, individuals they have bad blood with. And then you can kind of actually put a little salt in the wound that you're going to do it in CM Punk's home of Chicago, really stick it to that fan base, really get them riled up. You have to believe that Vince is perking up over that one.
Sure. Why not? I mean, listen, dude. All in all, man, what did you think of this match first? Like, what did you think of the setup of this match?
I thought it was good. I mean, for what I expected with these two, it was hard hitting. They were kind of telling the story that I kind of expect it. You know, Roman comes out firing. He's got all this build-up aggression. He's been getting abused by the champ for weeks. But then, you know, things turn, and once again, Roman is just taking a vicious beating. But it reminded me, you know, more of one of those things like where you'd see back in the day, you know, Hulk would come out hot, but then he can't overcome the odds. It looks like he's finally done. He's had enough. Hulkamania is going to end, and then boom, something magical happens. He starts hulking up, and our hero is taking control and gets the big win. I figured after all that blood, Roman was going to, you know, overcome all those obstacles and get that big win. It was quite a surprise to see Brock get that thing.
I wasn't surprised because I know how to pick my wrestling. I'm kidding. I was actually shocked. I didn't think. I said, wow, one of my picks actually really worked. I really went through. No, man. Listen, I said it before. It's money, dude. Who was at the event today?
Well, I brought this up the other day in a discussion group as well, and I was kind of joking that this is like one big conspiracy. You know, they're all in it together.
Who was at the event, Mr. Vickery?
Oh, you had Dana White there as well.
Dana White was freaking there. It is a conspiracy, Ric Vickery, because I believe.
I'm waiting. You know, everyone's arguing who's going to get the Fox TV deal. I'm just waiting for these two companies to come together. We got Vince and Dana White, you know, on Fox Television saying that they both got it. You know, we've got just some kind of outlandish storyline going forward. Oh, you got Conor McGregor throwing dollies through windows. Let's just transfer his act over to WWE for a little while.
Dude, let me tell you something, man. That whole Conor McGregor thing, let's not even talk about that. But the truth of the matter is, listen, I thought this match was not bad. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad. It was a Brock Lesnar match. It didn't go long, and it was a bunch of suplexes. But I'm very curious to see what happens tomorrow.
I mean, this was actually, you know, it's actually one of his longer matches. It almost pushed 16 minutes.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. You know, well, actually later today. Rick, listen, all in all, man.
I'm gonna say, I guess one more thing on this thing. I don't know, the look on Roman's face when he had to leave. Did you stay with it after they ran the music video packages?
No, I didn't.
And they usually show the closing promos, and they go off the air. They go back to Roman, and he is completely dejected. He kind of goes over. I believe it was his wife. He's still getting some medical attention. He kind of reaches out to her, and he makes this just. I don't know. It was almost, you know, like someone close to him had just passed away.
Oh, that's wonderful.
He kind of turns before he leaves, and he gives this look, and he looks around, and it was kind of almost like you could read it in his face. Is he questioning, is it time to tell these people, you know, where to go? So I'm hoping maybe we get that heel turn from him.
Oh, God. You know what, man? We've been waiting for that for how long?
I know. It's one of those things. They are so against it, but, you know, I don't think that's the same case as Cena. I think you go with that heel turn, and eventually you will have him as the biggest, you know, star in the company.
Listen, Rick, I gotta tell you something, man. All in all, my brother, if you were ranking this, if you were giving this thing 5 stars out of 5, what are you giving this pay-per-view?
You know what? Looking at everything here and everything and comparing it to all the other hours of wrestling that I've watched over the past, you know, 5-6 days, I'm probably gonna go ups and downs, everything considered. I'll lean probably like a 3.75.
Really? I'm gonna give this sumbitch a 4.5. I enjoyed it that much. I thought it did. For me, it did the job. It was 7 hours of entertainment. You had your title changes. You had a little bit of everything. You had your great matches. You had your crap matches. You had you had more than one WrestleMania moment. I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Is it in the top 10 of all-time great WrestleManias? Possibly. This is where you guys come in, and if I sound a little lethargic, it's because I've been up for like 25 hours. Right, I'm exhausted. But listen, guys, this is what we do here. OneWrestling.com. This is what we do here. One Wrestling Video. This is what we do over at Hami Media. We give you content, even if we're dying in our deathbed. I would have a computer on my casket, and I'm recording a podcast for whatever. Listen, this was a damn good pay-per-view, man. I want to hear your thoughts, guys. Seriously, all jokes aside, I was kind of joking before. I wouldn't have a casket. I would be dead already. But if I was in the hospital, I'd have my laptop. Leave your comments below here. I want to see what maybe give us your top 5 WrestleManias of all time. See if this is a WrestleMania that falls anywhere within that within that top 5 or whatever. And just, hey guys, give us a follow here at One Wrestling. Give me a follow at Big Ray Show. Before I get into my plugs, Rick, why don't you tell the fans where they can stalk you, buddy?
You can find me across all social media platforms at The Real RBV. And as you've mentioned, so kind to mention earlier, I am a part of the Hameen Media Group. You can also find us on Twitter. And I'd like to invite everyone out there, if you're not already on board, head on over to Facebook and do a search for the Hameen Media Discussion Group. Like we were saying, we had over 2,000 comments just for this show alone, but we're doing that for every event a couple times a week. Some of the greatest wrestling minds are there just chatting it up. It's a lot of fun. We'd like to have everyone there with us. And, of course, my own personal show, well, not my own personal show, me and my partner, Michael Jargo, you can find us on the Hitting the Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. You can just throw that in the Google machine or head on over to thegorillaposition.com. That is our home base for our show.
Very cool, Rick. Thank you so much, brother, for coming on short notice with me. I was going to do this thing solo, but it's so much better doing with a friend. My God, we've gone.
I was going to say,
here, dude.
I was going to say, I had so much fun, man. Let's do this again in about 6-7 hours.
Jesus Christ, ladies and gentlemen, in the words of Bill Apter, we'll see you at the matches. In the words of my brother Bill Scaler in heaven, we'll see you down the road. I always say I would do this for a living, but if I couldn't, I'd do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Do I love talking wrestling to do this again in the next 7 hours? Yes. Yes. Yes! Yes! Let's get out of here, Rick.
Let's do it.
Peace.